Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Bravo Tea with the Stay-at-Home Mom. I'm Erica, and guys, I was wrong. I said part 2 of the Summerhouse reunion was like maybe going to be filler, not exciting. That was so exhilarating. It was just as exciting as the first one, and I know we're going to wrap it up with a bang in the following week, but I really felt like Andy knows that we all really don't care to talk about anything else. And I feel like he knows they all want to get everything off their chest. He said that, I think I said it on my last podcast on Radio Andy the other week. He said to Ciara when this was all done, like, you must feel like you could climb a mountain, like you've got it out. And that's what these people need to do, because they didn't want to even entertain like texting Amanda or West. They're like, I'm just going to save it for the reunion, get it out. And I'm so glad that they're all doing that. And they're not just screaming and yelling. Like, that is the difference between the VPR one. It was a lot of just yelling and anger and not really explaining feelings. And this one is different. It's definitely just explaining feelings, expressing like disappointment, expressing confusion. Because, like Mia said in the first one, Amanda, what are you doing? You went from being married to one of West's side bitches, which is true. Amanda's biggest complaint in her marriage was like the instability and not being home. And I'm sorry, you think West is going to do that? Mm-mm. And like summer's coming up? Nope. So KJ, who is West's long-term friend, he's known West the longest up on that stage, knew him before the show. Like, everyone else is only knowing him in the show on TV. And Ciara has said, like, we don't even know you. So that's why I feel like this hits harder for KJ, because he knew West before all this. And I'm going to play a clip of him just really expressing how he feels and how he's looking at all of this with West.
Sorry, I'm just going to be honest right now, and I don't want to take up a bunch of time.
You're good.
We're here all day. Yeah. My dad was a very womanizing player, and my mom had to deal with so much. So that's why, like, I am hurting West, because I don't like that. Mm-hmm. I grew up watching that firsthand, and it destroyed my family. My dad's an habitual liar. Mm-hmm. He lies to everyone, but then he puts on this persona like he's got everything together, and he makes people feel good. And so it's like, I just am seeing a correlation. And also, too, like the discussion we had at the table this summer with, when we talked about race, that was like a very serious thing.
I get a lot of blowback that's like very racial. Obviously, being in this position, like I was the first black person in this house, and then dating white guys publicly. It's like a whole contraption that I don't think you guys even understand or can even empathize with.
And I don't like to see Ciara being treated the way that she's being treated.
Yeah. I'll apologize too again. I know today is probably not the right time, but like moving forward, whenever the right time is with you, if there's conversations to be had, I would have them with you.
It'll take time, but I'm open to having a conversation at some point.
Right.
No, you'll never have a conversation because West doesn't speak. Amanda is like half falling asleep the whole reunion. I don't know what she's on. I mean, like, not trying to point fingers and allege things, but she's on something. She's on something. She is falling asleep, nodding out, I feel like, having no emotion. And West, just here he is again in another reunion, not saying shit. Like, we've already been down this road with you that you weren't saying anything. And I don't know if he's so worried to say something because he thinks it's going to be ripped apart, but you're going to get ripped apart for not saying anything either. And whenever anyone is saying anything to Amanda, like, he doesn't say anything. We'll get into her storming off and all that and the long pause. But what KJ said, I felt like was perfect. He knows this type of behavior because he grew up around it, saw it in his dad, and he's literally telling West, you're doing the same thing. And West probably saw KJ's dad doing that. They've been friends that long. So I don't know why West is like this. Some men are just like this, don't care at all, but that's why it's interesting. Do it to strangers. You're doing it to your friend's ex-wife, not even ex-wife yet, separated wife, and hurting everyone that you were friends with on this show with, totally ruining your reputation. And it's just like, for what? You're not going to commit to Amanda. She's going to be just thrown in the pile of everyone else. And I love when Dara comes out on stage, because sometimes I forget Dara dated West. So she's like, you're going to treat her just like everyone else. You like womanize and you just throw everyone away and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, so glad she said that. But all the meanwhile, the woman that needed to hear it, Amanda, was taking a long break. And Ciara pointed out, she's like, I'm sorry, like, can she come back out here? Like, they are at work. This isn't just like a powwow for fun. They all have to be there. You think Ciara wants to sit there for hours and stare at her dumb face? No. So sorry that everyone's making you upset. How do you think these people feel? I really don't care about Amanda's feelings. And she could play the mental health card. Let me tell you what, if you have mental health issues, this isn't helping them. So I don't know why you want to now blame that you're struggling with your mental health. Well, you probably didn't do yourself any favors by getting yourself into this shit fest. Yeah, she's like off stage for 15 to 20 minutes. And then they do all break for lunch. And she's sitting with Wes. It's just like so weird to not see her and Kyle together, because everyone's like, go after your woman, go get her, go check on her. And he like didn't want to. And then Kyle's like, I'm about to get up. And I'm like, please don't. My husband's like, he better not get up or I'm going to get mad. And I'm like, I know, but that's just how he feels. He knows Amanda way better than West, because they were together before really heightened fame. I really do believe that West is clinging on to Amanda, or even did this because he thought she was going to get the good at it, because that's how it was starting off. Like, oh, Kyle's awful. And here Amanda is like, breaking free and getting all these brand deals. And West wanted to hightail it to that. I think he's definitely like a fame whore, a social climber, ladder climber, as Lindsay said. And he was clinging on to the person that was kind of like an Ariana glow up, like, oh, you've been broken up with. But I don't really know like why we were giving Amanda like all these opportunities, because it's kind of like you weren't backstabbed or anything. Like, if anything, you're the one that orchestrated the breakup and everything. Now I'm glad that we're seeing Ciara get all these good things, because she was wronged. Ariana got these things not because Tom just broke up with her. And maybe she would have got some things if Tom just broke up with her. She got those things because her partner of 10 years that she shared a home with and was in all the circle of friends with was cheating on her with their mutual friend, mutual coworker for 9 months behind her back. That's why Ariana got all the good things. I didn't really understand why Amanda was getting all the good things. It's like, okay, you're just getting separated from somebody that you should have probably never been married to, and we're rewarding you for that. I don't know. That was questionable, but they're all, taking their break. And then Wes is like, I mean, just like breathe. Try not to be snippy. I know Ciara's getting under your skin and you don't like that. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. And no one cares, again, that Amanda is upset that Ciara's getting under her skin. That was like kind of so stupid. Just awful. I don't understand why she's eating this like dry sweet potato either. And I've seen the internet slamming her hair. It's true. Did you do your hair yourself? I'm confused by her stylist. And then she did the same damn hair in Italy. So that's leading me to believe she didn't get her hair done and she did it herself. But why? Why didn't you get your hair done? And she's doing this weird thing the whole time, like putting her tongue on her teeth and then like looking up with her eyes and kind of closing her eyes. I mean, guys, I don't know what she's on. And then in the dressing room, her and Wes, before they go out after the lunch break, she's like half falling asleep on the blanket. I don't know if she like crushed up a bunch of Xanax and took it, a beta blocker. I don't know, smoked weed. I'm thinking she did, allegedly, and like just my guess. I think she did like a Xanax or beta blocker and smoked some weed. So it's like too much chill. She's just too chill. She's too detached. And I don't think that's fair, to be honest, because none of them can drink before these reunions because it could change their emotion. So now we have her hitting these calmers and downers, and it's messing with her emotion. Like if you would get extra drunk and like get different. So I don't know. I just feel like she's being lazy, as Kyle quoted her in the season, and mad that she has to be there. But it's like they all have to be there. This is your job. I'm pretty sure, and it's safe to say, that she won't be returning to Summerhouse. And I mean, praise Jesus, we don't need you because you're always falling asleep. And I think this will be best, but I really hope Ciara comes back. And I think it's going to be like nice to see Jesse without West, because clearly he's like, I'm not being your friend again. Everyone on stage is never going to talk to the two of them again. Except I think Kyle will still keep in contact with Amanda. And he kind of has to for now because they like share custody of the dogs. But he better not. I was thinking about this the other day. When West leaves Amanda and breaks up with her, because he will, Kyle better not hook up with Amanda. I don't think they will ever get back together, but they better not hook up. But I could see it. I don't know. I maybe even could, in a slight percentage, see them getting back together, which, like, I think it's just awful. I hope Kyle does not do that, because look at everything she's doing to you, to your friends. And before all this West stuff, just all the stuff she was saying to Kyle, like whether Kyle was like a great husband or not, just so mean. And like in the city, she's like, oh, I found an apartment I like, but it's like a year lease. And he's like, you can't find a month to month. She's like, no. And it's like, okay, then you guys are going to get divorced. If you're going to sign a year lease, but you're just quote unquote separated. She's even saying her and Kyle aren't separated. And I'm like, yes, you are. You are going to live separately. That's separated. I don't care if you legally file for separation. You are separated. And I think she got the apartment so she could freely hook up with West. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Because when he was just on this episode of In the City, I was like, this is like making it so much worse. And Ciara and him meet Amanda to like look through the apartment or apartment hunt or whatever. And then they have lunch. And then West's hug to Amanda was longer than Ciara's. And he like kissed her on the cheek. I'm like, it's happening. It's happening already in the fall. I know. And like, you can't tell me otherwise, or it's at least very emotional. I don't know. But then Amanda was saying in the reunion that she formally decided that she wanted to separate from Kyle New Year's Day, because New Year's Eve he DJ'd. She did not go with him. And it's like, shocker. And then she said she just woke up the next day and she's like, I just had it. And I'm like, but listen to yourself. He is DJing and it's New Year's Eve and you don't have children and you're not going. The lack of laziness is shocking. And then like Ciara and Mia and Lindsay pointed it out, and Kyle, like, you didn't want to support me and go out with me, but you want to go out with West. And she's like, yeah, I just didn't like to go out with Kyle. And I was like, oh my God. So you want to get drunk and stay out till 4 a.m. at all hours of the night with West, but you never had fun with Kyle. Well, then why'd you ever marry Kyle? And when he heard that, that broke my heart for him. She's just being so mean, girl, and she thinks it's okay because she was miserable in the marriage. Well, how about Kyle saying you guys definitely have not had sex for 4 years? I mean, you had just gotten married and you weren't having sex? That's alarming. That's so alarming. And West isn't staying with you if you don't touch him for probably 4 days. Like, I can just tell he would never put up with that shit for 4 years. That's so long. That's why you know Kyle really loved her and really wanted to stay committed to her. That's a lot. I think personally, I know like she put up with stuff with him, but I think he put up with a lot too. That we're now finding out and we're now seeing that people before never really understood and maybe never even cared to understand. But of course, she's trying to say that Kyle was unfaithful in their marriage. He's like, no, I wasn't. She's like, Kyle, I would get, it's just her voice too. It's like very immature voice. Like people fighting in high school, like boyfriend or girlfriend. That's the voice tone I always get from her. Kyle, like people would like DM me and like, you can't say that it's not true. And it's like, were they sending you videos and pictures though? Because I could DM you right now, Amanda, and be like, oh, Kyle and I like had sex 2 years ago. Where's the proof? I'm sorry. I need to see pictures because some people are like weird and just like to insert themselves thinking that maybe like their DM will like pop up on Bravo on the show and like all this stuff. And unless there's pictures being sent with it and like really big details, I don't believe it. And he owned it that he has been inappropriate. So I'm assuming that means like maybe like being touchy-feely and maybe even kissing. And he's like, I never had sex with anyone. And I do believe that. I do. Is it annoying he was being touchy-feely? Yeah. But he said, not that you can blame it on anything, and he did take accountability, but I can see it in a way, so nobody come at me, that she never wanted to do anything with him, and it started taking a toll on him. And I don't support cheating. I looked at my husband and I said, I understand what he means, because if you're never going to go out with your spouse, you're never going to touch them, you're never going to care, they're going to look elsewhere. They are. They just are, man or a woman, and it's natural. But that's why you need to break up. One of them should have done this long ago. And that's why Amanda needs to realize, yeah, he wants to be with you. He wants to have sex with you. He wants to hang out with you. Like he wants you there at the DJ thing. What is that saying? That means he doesn't want to cheat on you and find other women. He wants you there. But if you're not there, yeah, he's going to eventually start looking elsewhere. Not supporting it, but I understood what he meant. So like all she's really grasping onto, because she knows she's a piece of shit human that everyone hates right now because of this whole West debacle and all the lies. She's just hanging on to, but Kyle cheated on me. It's like, yeah, but that didn't happen to Ciara. So it's like, if you want to like hurt Kyle, have at it. But along this process, you've hurted Ciara and you've hurt all your other friends, because you think Carl is pleased by this? No, he's a mess. Carl's a mess, guys. But what really took the cake was at the end, Ciara FaceTiming Miha. Now, Miha is the girl that made the horse tie that was on, shouted out on Watch What Happens Live. And she has now come out and said that her and Wes were together. So we don't know when they were together. Kyle sat down when they were taking that break and he powwowed with everyone. I loved it. And he was like, guys, the most important part that we want to find out is the timeline. We have receipts that West was in a full-blown relationship since February 2025. Now that would mean July 2025, last summer, when they started filming Summerhouse, he has this girlfriend, said girlfriend. So again, I'm going to hit it with the audio. I know I did so much audio, but I'm going to play the clip of Ciara FaceTiming Miha.
Better. I was like, I better not cry on that stage, and I got it all out before I got on stage, and like, then when I saw them, I got all pissed, and said, okay, let me give you a little recap. They don't even look like they like each other up here. Like, she's taking the brunt of it, he's staying quiet. Like, we could predict. I mean, we got cast, yeah. He, like, will jump in occasionally, but, like, isn't trying to save her, barely, like, yeah. Do you want me to...
All right, I'm going to play another clip too, because that's not exactly the one I wanted to play. This is the one where Kyle walks in and they kind of talk about Wes and Miha's relationship.
Like, from a morality standpoint, I'm like, I don't understand if I just walked in.
Hi.
Hi, Kyle.
How are you? Can I ask you a quick question? So, from your understanding, like, was it clearly defined when you guys were exclusive?
Yeah, we were literally dating last summer. Like, while you guys were filming, like, he referred to me as his girlfriend all the time. Like, we just weren't in a public relationship. I mean, like, you built all the furniture in his house. Literally, I was at his house, like, every weekend that he was filming. We knew we were in an exclusive relationship. I go over there the night before Watch What Happens Live. Everything was so fine. He was, like, telling me how much he loves me, and, like, everything was just totally fine. Did he ever say why he didn't want to make it public, or, like...
Yeah, she texted me the receipts. He blames the show.
He thinks he'll get fired.
Which is a
show.
Which, by the way...
A relationship with someone who's not in the Bravo sphere.
Which is a great excuse to you who's not in it. You don't know the politics. That's bullshit.
Yeah. And, like, the other reason he would use, too, was, like, if I bring you into this, like, obviously, that's just, like, putting you in a situation where it's, like, now people have eyes on you and they're having opinions about you, and, like... It feels manipulative because, like... And then also, just, like, in hindsight, I'm like, okay, so you were concerned about people maybe, like, pitting me against Ciara if I ever came on the show as, like, your public girlfriend. But you're very comfortable just, like, dumping me and then all of a sudden popping out the next day and in a relationship with Amanda, and like, who's one of my close friends. I'm just left on my own to figure that out by myself. Like, he's manipulating. That's just like...
That's serial killer shit. When we found out how long he had been with Miha, so not only, if you think about it, it messed up to Miha, a little bit messed up to Amanda, and then terrible to Ciara. I mean, you're like kissing Ciara on the last episode in August last year while Miha is at your apartment in New York. Gross. So awful. So it's like he's bamboozling everybody. It's awful. I don't even know how people like him can sleep at night. How do you lay your head on the pillow? How do you keep all these women straight either? I mean, you're going to the Hamptons for the weekend and she's just at your house because this Miha girl is from Philadelphia. She lives in Philadelphia, which is like 45 minutes from us. And he's letting you come every weekend to his apartment in the city. Just like really weird. Like, why even bother having a girlfriend? So it was secret, which I'm sorry, not that I am saying it's her fault by any means, but if I have to keep us a secret, I'm gone. Bye. Like, why do you want me a secret? Because you want to go hook up with people on the weekend while you're filming your little show? I don't want to be a secret. It's like, usually people only keep secrets if they're married or they want to do that. They want to have other people. So I don't like that she was like, oh, we have to keep a secret. And then when he breaks up with her, he's like, oh, it's because you're not on the show. It's like, shut up. That is so stupid. And like Kyle said, she wouldn't know because she's not on the show. So she's like kind of believing him. But then it's like, okay, you didn't want to be dating me, but you want to be dating Amanda, who's falling asleep, who's lame AF, who is your friend's like still wife, and that's your ex-girlfriend's like friend, and you guys all film together. Like, I just don't know also what Amanda and Wes thought would happen. You guys get together, you're never going to be on the show again. Kiss all that goodbye. So I feel like Wes just like lived and breathed being on this show. Well, bye-bye. I hope you soaked it up last summer. And I just think this is all so crazy how much of the lack of accountability that Amanda's taking and how mean she's like being to Amanda. Ciara. It's just crazy. It's just crazy, guys. Let's move on though. I'm so excited for part 3. I'm going to watch it with my friend and then I'm going to have her on the podcast. I told her we need to pod after to like recap. But let's move on to the Valley real quick. So Brittany is recovering from her surgery. I feel like this was the main takeaway for me of the episode, the two. She's recovering from her surgery. This boyfriend she has, Brandon, is supposed to be helping and taking care of her. She said he had to take time off work, so she paid him. Oh, that's awful. Like, red flag is already waving high. And he's like not even doing his job. Like, she's on one pain pill. She's like, I need him to go get my pain pills because I'm out. And she had like a lot of shit done to her. It's not just like she had like fake boobs. Like, she had the lipo, the tummy tuck, the reduction, the lift, new implants. It's just like a lot. And the nanny's there taking care of Cruz, but she can't help with like this recovery. And you got to drain those tubes or those things that fill up with all the like, it's half blood, half just liquid. So you don't get like an infection and whatnot. And he not helping with anything. Kristen came over, and hopefully Kristen's going to help, because that's what you need like your friends for. And I feel like women just like understand this stuff more too than men. But it's like, if you can help Brittany do this, this could never be a long-term relationship, because when they say the words in sickness and in health, when you get married, this is in sickness. Now, you guys may say like, oh, well, it's like elective surgery. Who cares? It doesn't matter. When I got my surgery 2 years ago, my husband was helping me. I had those drains. He had to help. I had to sleep on the couch for the week. Like, I couldn't even get up the stairs, and I didn't want to. And it was like not good to lay that flat on the bed. So like I had to sleep kind of in our reclining part of our couch. And it's like really painful. And that's why everyone's there to help. You had to help me like shower for the first time when we did that. Like, and what happens when you have a baby? That's a lot of recovery. That's a lot of help. That's a lot of gross stuff you're seeing. So if he can't handle this, bye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. And then he brings these flowers. And she's like, he can't even take care of me, and I'm paying him, but he's using my money to buy me those flowers. And I'm going to tell you what, Brittany, he bought those flowers like a week ago, because the roses were like fully open. He bought them days ago. It's not even like they're fresh flowers. And I just didn't like him when he first came on the show anyway, because I felt like he was like too into getting into the drama. And I'm like, this is weird. And now that he's asking her for money, definitely no. This is why I do think some of the Bravo people just try to like date within, even though it's like goes back to that saying, don't shit where you eat. Because like we're seeing with Amanda and West and Kyle and Ciara, that once you break up, you all can't really be together, and it kind of like blows up your career of being on this show that you've kind of made a career and life around. But this is what happens. They date outsiders, and some of them are in it for the wrong reason and are using them to either be on the show or for money. And he's doing both. He's like hitting it with 2 red flags. And I love Kristen's little tune. She was like, Brittany, this is a red flag. Please break up with him in her confessional. I'm like, truth, spin that on a Kyle Cook DJ set, because that is the truth. There's too many red flags. He needs to leave. He needs to go. So then I feel like the majority of the episode was about Danny's like drinking. And I can see why people are like wanting to talk about it, because he always acts the same way if he's had too much to drink. So that can get annoying. But all of them do get drunk. Everyone's point is, though, about it is like, it's not like you just get drunk and you're like a little annoying or like loud. You're making everyone uncomfortable. And it's everyone, not just one person. So I'm like, okay. But now the bigger problem is Danny is making himself look really bad, because he's like, oh, I'm just not going to drink around anyone. And he's like closet drinking. So I know this was definitely probably staged, but he was quote unquote not drinking at Brittany's pool party. And then he walks by with a White Claw. And then Jasmine, when she's visiting Brittany from her recovery, goes in the bathroom in her gym room, which I don't know why you use the bathroom in there. And there's just so happens to be an empty White Claw can on the sink. Now, Brittany definitely has a cleaning person, I'm going to bet. And I bet she has the cleaning person every week, especially now because she's on her surgery. So you tell me that party was weeks ago and that can is still in a bathroom? No. They were like setting that up. That is a little like produced. But that's why I don't know why Danny thinks he can get away with lying. And it's going to make him look like he has a drinking problem if he's now lying, saying, oh, I'm not drinking. And then he is. So he's walking by the camera with a White Claw, but you're saying you're not drinking. And then we go to Zach's housewarming party, which him and Benji really needed to pump the brakes on having this party because they had no furniture. Lala said it looked like one of her AA meetings because you just sit there in like foldable chairs. And she also said it looks like Zach was just like robbed, which it's true. And then Michelle brings a bottle of wine. Not only did he not have a wine opener, he doesn't even have wine glasses. This is like a little weird. Like you didn't have a day, an afternoon to maybe go out and buy some stuff, go hit up Marshall's and Home Goods and get stuff. I was just there the other day. I got a couple more things for our shore house and just like finishing touches. And it doesn't take that long. I mean, wait and have the party. I don't know why we were rushed. And also like Brittany couldn't even be there because she was recovering. Jason and Janet couldn't be there, which I feel like Jason and Janet aren't even in the show. Sometimes I like forget about them. But they asked Michelle when the last time it was that she drank out of a red Solo cup. She's like, never. And I'm like, okay. I mean, definitely for wine, that's a no. If you use the red Solo cups for like the mixed drinks because you're putting ice in it, no harm, no foul, because maybe you don't want to clean up a bunch of glasses or get the glasses broken. But give me a wine glass or give me one of those disposable shorter glasses that are like meant for wine. Because I will say, like when we have parties and a ton of people at our house, nobody's using real wine glasses because I'm sorry, they will get broken. And I'm not washing 20 wine glasses at the end of the night. So I just get the ones that are like the shorter, clear ones that are meant for wine. You know what I mean? If you're having a party. But he had like 8 people there, so he could have put some wine glasses out that he had just bought at Marshall's. Lacey is like really rich. And she's like, yeah, I've just never been to a party like this. It's kind of like weird. And then speaking of parties, she wants to throw Michelle a divorce party. And she's like, no. She's like, we could have it at Saddle Ranch. And I could make everyone like cowgirl hats. I like don't know if Lacey's being like sarcastic and being like a smart ass, or if she's genuinely just trying to fit in with everyone and be nice to Michelle. And she's probably thinking like, oh, that would be like a fun episode on the show. Like, come on, girls, let's go to Saddle Ranch. Now, I went to Saddle Ranch when I was in LA, and it is a fun time. They have the little mechanical bull. They have like this mannequin head they bring out with like a hair of cotton candy. If you so please want to order that. And it's just like a fun place. So definitely would be like a good girls' night or a good divorce party. I actually don't know why they have never filmed at Saddle Ranch for the Valley. And correct me if I'm wrong, have they ever filmed there for VPR? Maybe back in the day, but let's bring them all there because I feel like that would be a really fun episode. So good for you, Lacey, for mentioning that. But Michelle says in the confessional that, of course, Jesse is never going to let Lacey go because she's like really wealthy. So she must be getting all that alimony and got lump sums from her ex-husband. Now I need to like get on Google and see who her ex-husband is. But I mean, I just think Michelle gets really weirdly jealous that like Jesse found like a rich woman and it's like he's going to be like fine and well off and sail into the sunset. And she's like, why can't I get that for myself? But it was okay when we all had to like see Bug-Eyed Aaron and be around him. But now you don't want us to be okay with being around Lacey. I don't really like that. And she was the one, to be honest, from the get-go that was mean to Lacey, talking about her looks. I didn't like that. It's fine if you don't really like her and you obviously are annoyed you have to hang out with her and film your show with her. I get that. But don't you think Jesse was annoyed by that with Bug-Eyed Aaron? I just don't get the double standard with Michelle doing that. But yeah, I mean, the whole episode was basically like shitting on Danny's like drinking. And then he says he's not going to drink at Zach's housewarming party, but he's pouring himself like a soda and Jameson. So it's like, again, you're like lying. And the reunion's going to be rough for him because they are going to say, well, if you think you don't have a drinking problem, why were you lying? And I get his point. It's going to be, well, I just didn't feel like hearing you guys all yap and talk about my drinking problem. So I just, was saying, well, I'm not going to drink. Well, then you need to stick to that though. Like, don't then closet drink because that is what people do when they have a problem. They're hiding it. But It's just like, to be honest, I think like Danny and Nia just wouldn't talk to majority of these people that are on the show if it wasn't for the show. I think they would only talk to like Kristen, Zach, maybe Jesse and Lacey, and that's it. And I said maybe about Jesse and Lacey. Definitely just Kristen and Zach. Like, I don't think they'd even talk to Brittany. They just wouldn't talk to anyone. So I could see them not doing the show next year, because if it's going to get even worse with Danny's drinking and whatnot, and I mean, they always have to make the trek from Santa Clarita, because I looked it up. It's like not that far, but it's the traffic. So it probably took Nia so long to meet Michelle just for that weird coffee and bring the 4-month-old. And then Michelle and Danny go out on this like date. Or I mean, Nia and Danny go out on this like date and they bring in the baby. Now, like, I mean, she's just breastfeeding and they say it's because she won't take a bottle. So like she can't even leave the breast milk behind for somebody else. So like, I guess I understand you have to bring the baby, but I've had it with seeing the baby all the time. And they're not having fun. So it's like, don't even go out. Like, honestly, my husband would say that. He'd be like, if we have to bring the 4-month-old baby and you have to breastfeed in public, we're not even going anywhere. They can like film at our house. And the producers probably don't like to come to their house because it's like so far away. But you could tell, and it's making Danny look worse because he's like so annoyed that they're now out and he has to like hold this baby in this carrier. And he's like, I don't want to fucking do this. But then it's like, don't have more kids. He's like mental. She says like, you need to get fixed right away. And he's like, what about 4 for 4, one more? And it's like, on that note, Danny, you're mental. Goodbye. Like, no, could start taking whatever Amanda is and fall asleep, because you need to settle down with that shit. But as always, it was so fun. You can find me at Bravo T with the Stay at Home Mom. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all the good things. And I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. That vibe makes them come alive. You're so